Welcome to Medical Terminology. I have to say it is awesome to have you in class, and I truly hope you learn to love it just as I do. There's a couple things I want to start with this semester. First of all, medical terminology is really like learning a new language. However, it's different than learning something like English or something like Spanish or some other foreign language. And the reason why it's different is because we don't learn the whole term, we learn parts. Okay, we're going to break this down this semester into word parts. We learn these word parts, and there are three different types of them. We learn prefixes, combining forms, and suffixes. Those are our three types of parts. And we learn the definitions of all of those parts. So that any time from then on that we see a medical term or we're reading something and we don't understand, you can break it down and build a definition by knowing those parts. We break words apart and create definitions or figure out the definitions. We're not learning any or creating any new words. Okay, this semester, all the medical terms are there. If you need a medical dictionary, those help. Your textbooks, any of the references that you have for class are going to help you. When we start chapter 1, and in all other chapters from here on out, you'll see in the textbook, in your reading, that it all starts with more anatomy and physiology. Okay, it's always kind of heavy in anatomy and physiology first. We get into the body system, so we learn about the digestive system, all the parts and how they work together, how they work separately. But we don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I'm not going to get real heavy into reading the first parts of all of those chapters. We're really going to focus on the language and those word parts. Like I said, that's what we're here for, okay, is to learn the language. Most of the time, if you're in anatomy and physiology, we go through the same body systems at almost the same time. So a lot of it will be repeat, and obviously the more you hear things, the more you're going to, comprehend and understand it and keep those in your head and understand. So the most important for you when we go through each chapter and are reading, okay, through the chapter and doing the lectures is really going to be these blue boxes. Okay, after that, anatomy and physiology start to the chapter. We get into the real language and all of these parts, again, prefixes, combining forms, and suffixes, and those all start in the blue boxes. Okay, I encourage you and advise you to make flashcards for all of those word parts in the blue boxes each week, okay, in each chapter that we do. And when you make flashcards, do one side, the word part, and on the back side or the opposite side, the definition. Okay, that way you can study them three different ways. You can study them by looking at all the word parts and knowing what their definitions are. You can flip them around and study them by looking at all the definitions and knowing the word parts. Mix them up. Our brains get used to that order sometimes when we're studying flashcards so much all the time. Mix them up and put them out of order, okay, so that you can still really, really recognize them and understand. I have students that say that they make flashcards, that they cut flashcards in half, kind of get their money's worth, right? Because we don't need a lot of space usually. Okay, we don't need the whole space of a big flashcard. So a lot of times I'll cut them in half and use, just half of them. That way it goes longer. Another student I've had say that they even three-hole punched them and put them on a ring, threw them in their purse or threw them in their bag. When they were coming into Calmer to town to campus, there's a train and they were stuck at the train, and so they pulled out their flashcards and were studying them. When they had their kid at the doctor's office, they had to wait. They pulled out their flashcards and studied them. You'd be surprised at how much time we actually wait in life. I think there's been studies on that, right? Pull out those flashcards and study them. Okay, so however you want to make them, it's your choice. I can't grade you on using flashcards and making them, but I really encourage it and I really advise it. If you know these word parts essentially at the end of each chapter, I can ask you any question in an examination or a quiz. and you'll be able to come up with the answer. If you know those word parts, you can break down any term. Okay? Good luck this week. Have fun. Again, get a hold of me. Let me know if you have any questions.